Right now, I'm going to start off this video by saying something that might shock you, so please be prepared. I don't want anyone falling off their chair, but the Ace family are being weird again. God, I can't believe it. So coming up very soon, the Ace family are hosting two big events. We have the Ace Fest, and then we have an Austin Mcbroom boxing card, which is definitely going to end well. We've got one event that we have every reason to believe is going to be pretty damn dodgy, maybe borderline a scam, and then we have another event which has literally already been proven to be a scam in the past. Now with these big two monumental events coming up very soon, the Ace family had a few words to say about the critics. And let's just say, they're not exactly thrilled.
Don't click these drama channels, don't click these news outlets because they're just trying to get you to click.
Now we will get into their statement because they do go on to kind of reference channels like mine who have made negative videos on Catherine and Austin in the past, so I feel like it's only right that we respond. But firstly, let's talk about the boxing event that's coming up, because it's Social Gloves 2, which is very strange how they're even allowed to host a second event. If you remember, a year ago they hosted an event, didn't pay any of the fighters, the announcers and so on. Then there was a bunch of lawsuits that happened, even with LiveX Live, who hosted the event on their pay-per-view service. They were suing Austin Mcbroom because he lied about the pay-per-view numbers, and it turned out it undersold massively. But when you actually look at the poster, they have these three logos at the bottom. We've got the Crypto.com Arena, which is where the fight is taking place, the Staples Center as it used to be called. We've got Social Gloves, which is Austin Mcbroom's company, and then we got Bash Boxing. Now Bash Boxing is a small boxing promotion. I went on their website to kind of like look at their history and who they've worked with in the past, and to be honest, like, they don't have the biggest resume in the world in terms of, like, notoriety. In fact, when I look at the events, I don't recognize any of them. They just seem to be, like, small boxing cards, mainly in California as well, it seems. Now, the only reason I bring this up is because Austin Mcbroom has been on podcasts talking about how the first event was actually a big success, and massive boxing promotions have been contacting him to try and get involved in the second one, which clearly isn't the case. These big boxing promotions wouldn't touch Austin Mcbroom with a 10-foot pole, okay? He's completely lying. And speaking of lying, the day before they actually announced the new fight, Austin Mcbroom posted a statement about the first event. Now, it is very long, and I've got to be honest, the first time I did see this, I did give it one glance and think, nope, not for me. Then a few days later, I did give it a read, and there's a few things I want to point out. So he starts off by saying that even though people want to talk about the business side, the actual event was really good, and it actually amassed over 2 billion impressions, and fighters gained millions of followers. Now, first of all, fighters gaining millions of followers, I'm not sure if that's 100% true. I think the only person I could think of who might have gained like a ridiculous amount of followers would be someone like Vinny Hacker, but then that would have been on TikTok, which numbers are just completely inflated anyways. Now, second of all, the whole like 2 billion impressions thing, if you're counting every single video that was posted, regardless of who posted it on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and so on, then yeah, maybe it got over 2 billion impressions. I can actually imagine that. There was a lot of viral clips. But that doesn't really matter when we mention the fact that no one fucking bought the event. It can have as many impressions as it wants, it can have as many viral clips as it wants, but if people don't buy the pay-per-views, then you're not doing the event right. I feel like Austin Mcbroom has this thing in his head where he just thinks, oh, if we have X amount of millions of subscribers, then we can definitely sell this product. We've seen it with the Ace Fest. They had to lie and say that the tickets actually sold out, even though there's so much proof showing that they didn't sell anywhere near enough tickets. It's because the events aren't up to scratch, specifically with the Ace Fest. It's also because Austin Mcbroom just isn't trustworthy in the slightest because of his track record, and then it's thirdly because no one actually gives a fuck about Austin Mcbroom. Like, yeah, you'll talk about him when he fucks up because it's interesting to hear like what he's done next because he's a bit of a nutter, but no one's exactly proud to say they're an Austin Mcbroom fan, are they, realistically? He then goes on to say the event was the first of its kind. Who can say they had 16 of the top social media guys get in the ring? Now, I guess if we're talking about specifically the number 16, then maybe it's a first. But it's not the first event of its kind by any means. I mean, we had KSI Joel Weller, KSI Logan Paul 1, KSI Logan Paul 2, and then we got this. But yeah, maybe the other events didn't have 16 fighters specifically. Is that really what we're saying now? He then also goes on and says, I am glad to say all of the fighters have been compensated, few that are pending due to them potentially participating in the next event, and that we are all officially able to move forward despite the less than expected financial results. Now, compensated being the key word there, he didn't say that all the fighters have been paid in full, he just said all the fighters have been compensated. They received something. Now, you've got to remember, they were offering Bryce Hall like $5 million, Taylor Holder like $1 million, people on the undercard $500,000, a stupid amount of money. And then when you talk about how little money they actually earned, when you bear in mind how much the event would have cost to put on in the the first place, just in production. I would like to think the amount that people are being compensated wasn't anywhere near the actual number they should have been. Or maybe not at all, because we actually have a tweet here from someone who worked on a previous event and says, "So Social Gloves has announced a new fight. They still haven't paid myself, Emily Ralston, or the Coach Rules for the last event they put on. Not sure how they can put on another event with Bash Boxing without paying everyone from the first." So this tweet was made after Mcbroom posted that statement we've just been reading out. Like, so clearly they haven't paid everyone who worked on the event. Maybe the fighters have, but they haven't paid the announcers, they haven't paid people who work behind the scenes, so yeah, maybe it is a first of its kind. But yeah, either way, let's get onto the Ace family's new video where they go on to reference some people who have been speaking a bit negatively about them recently.
So guys, Ace Fest is exactly 1 month away. Today is the 9th.
It's coming, guys.
So it's
Sorry, dead quick. What the fuck has Austin got in his hat then? Sorry, I've just never seen someone put something badges on a hat before. Like, fucking hell, mate, calm it down. And what's that on his teeth? Has he got, like, sequins on his teeth? I'm so confused what's going on here.
So guys, Ace Fest is exactly 1 month away.
Yes!
Today's the 9th.
Get in!
So it's coming really, really fast. It's gonna creep up on us. We've obviously let you guys know way in advance. It's created a lot of chaos, but we're super excited.
God, that was the most, like, demonic laugh I've ever heard. Jesus Christ. It's caused a lot of chaos because people found out we were scamming them, but I'm excited. Isn't that just such a weird way of saying it? Like, oh, it's caused a lot of chaos. No, people found out it was pretty scammy and you've lied about 99% of the event. Like, I wouldn't say that's just causing chaos. Like, causing chaos makes it seem as if, like, it's a good thing. Like, if Harry Styles announces a new world tour, I would say that that would probably cause chaos because people would get excited about it. That's not how I'm describing the Ace Fest.
And if you don't have a chance to make it to Ace Fest this year, there's another event only a month after.
There's not, is there?
July 30th.
Oh my God.
At Staples Center.
Yeah?
Well, it's now known as Crypto Arena.
God, the Ace family hosting 2 events back to back like this. That's not a good sign, is it? They can barely do one successfully. In fact, they can't. But one thing it does tell me is that they've had to pay a lot of their own money in lawsuits and everything else from the first Social Gloves event that they're now like, right, we need to host 2 events and we need to make some fucking bread.
I'm obviously not the only one fighting that night. I'm sharing the arena with 8 other celebrity influencers. So when we say you gotta get your tickets or else it's gonna be sold out.
Yeah, but who though? Because the people I've seen announced so far aren't exactly the most captivating people in the world. Swaggy P versus Blueface. God, I can't wait for that one. DDG versus PNB Rock. Yeah, fucking hell. I might as well buy the pay-per-view now. Like, I can almost guarantee that the Ace family's audience definitely doesn't give a fuck about either of the 4 people I just mentioned. And does anyone? Like, enough to buy a pay-per-view? Like, I'm not even trying to be disrespectful. I realise that they could sell way more pay-per-views than I ever could, alright? But it's at the Staples Center. This is meant to be the big event. This is meant to be so good that people are going to forget about the failures of the first one. So yeah, it's probably not the best start, and I would think the reason behind that is because no YouTubers want to be on an Mcbroom card after what happened in the first one. So I feel like this is also going to be a bit of a failure.
But I have to say, and you heard it here first, right? For all of our OG followers, if you're watching and you're listening to this right now, okay? Be prepared for some just drama, some unwanted, just weird vibe, weird energy coming towards the Ace family name in the next month or so.
Thanks for the warning, Catherine. That's basically her saying that the events are gonna be shit. She knows it. People don't just say it for the sake of saying it. Like, I can't tell if she's actually just so deluded in her head or she's just trying to, like, manipulate the people watching the video. Because she's obviously mainly referencing the fact that people have been talking about the Ace Fest recently, also bringing up the fact that the Social Gloves 1 event was so bad. But if you watch any of their videos, the reasons behind people's negativity towards the Ace Fest seems to be pretty justified. You're charging $100 a ticket for a fair, which you could go to for literally like $5 anywhere else. You used footage off a fair, which isn't your fair, and in fact the footage was actually filmed by videographers that you didn't pay or credit or even ask to use the footage. You then lied about the ticket sales, saying it sold out, turns out they only sold a few hundred. You also lied about the location, turns out it's been shared by another event, and so on. There's so much shit they've lied about. Like, there isn't people just going at the Ace family for the sake of it. If these 2 events come out and they're really, really good, you won't see any videos from people being like, oh, the Ace Fest is so trash, oh, Social Gloves 2 is a scam again. But if them videos do come out, it's because something's happened, and I feel like Catherine knows that these events aren't exactly going to be up to standard, and that's why she's given the warning now.
It kind of comes and goes depending on how much we're doing. If we're out there and we're doing events, there's just more shit thrown at us.
Because your events are shit! That's the reason! You didn't see any videos coming out about KSI Logan Paul 1 and saying how that was a scam, or even the second fire and how that was a scam, or events many other YouTubers have hosted. You don't see videos about them. Because them events take place, they're good, you get your money's worth, and you leave satisfied. You don't have any negativity towards the event. Whereas when the Ace family hosts any type of event, people leave disappointed or scammed, like there's no in between.
Just be prepared that that's coming. Don't click these drama channels. Don't click these news outlets because they're just trying to get you to click. So don't do it.
I feel like our loyalty.
Oh, she knows. She knows it's gonna be shit. I'm taking this as Catherine just admitting that the events are gonna be completely awful, okay? Why else would she say this?
No, this happens every time. It's literal forensic evidence. We've seen it.
Forensic
it's real
evidence.
And it's there, and just don't buy into it. Don't listen to it. I'm telling you, like, it comes in waves.
Positive vibes only.
God, I actually think she might just be delusional. Like, do you believe that they don't think they've done anything wrong and actually can't take accountability for these events that they've hosted and how bad they've been? Do you reckon that's the case? I can't tell if they're delusional or they're just really good at manipulating, obviously, a very young demographic, because, I mean, that doesn't take much, does it? I don't know, I mean, let me know your thoughts down below, but I think we're going to leave the video there. So if you did enjoy this video, please do leave a like down below, subscribe if you are new. If you want to let me know topics to talk about in future videos, then the best way to do that on my Instagram, it's @MARKIE. It's always linked in the description. And until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, goodbye.